Directors of the Caribbean Development Bank has approved $7.5 million to be used to equip out-of-school youths with technical and vocational skills in Regions 3 and 5 under the Technical and Vocational Education and Training (TVET) program. The bank says the loan will provide for the construction of 2 technical institutes in Regions 3 and 5, equipment and learning materials, and teachers training. In addition, the loan will include a component to improve overall governance of the subsector and the establishment of an institutional framework for the further development of TVET here. The bank says the project initially will benefit 400 students in the 2 regions to acquire vocational skills that will improve their employability. Upon completion, job attachments or replacements will expose the trainees to the world of work and enhance their chances of finding a permanent employment. Over the 3-year life of the project, more than 8,000 young men and women are expected to make a meaningful contribution to the economic development in Guyana. More than 1,500 men and women already in the workforce will also be given the opportunity to enhance their skills. Meanwhile, the CDB has approved a $149,000 grant to the Yokohama International Center for Rainforest Conservation and Development. The funding will be used to improve the center's revenue-generating capacity through tourism and training of business enterprises. The revenue generated will be used to finance research and development on the sustainable management of tropical forests and their natural assets. Edward Lane, the 6 o'clock news.
The Minister of Agriculture, Robert Prasad, says a policy should be taken where dams and other DNI systems should not be sold as buyers do not maintain them. This comes after the Dazzle housing scheme on the east coast of Demerara was submerged due to the very issue. Details in this report.
Several issues were today addressed by the Agriculture Minister Robert Prasad, the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority, and members of the Regional and Neighborhood Democratic Council. Among some of the issues was the current accumulation of water accompanied by the heavy downpours that were recently experienced in vulnerable areas, including several villages along the east coast of Demerara. One of the most affected is the Dazzle housing scheme, and the minister disclosed that the situation there is more complex than it appears.
We had 2 incidents which contributed to the situation. We had one, a diamond, whereby the NDC officials sold a section of a dam, and that caused the total top of the dam to go. And now when the waters came up, it was spilling into the housing area. We had the same issue to a dozen houses scheme, where again the NDC went ahead and sold that in the eastern boundary. And that again caused water to spill, and now that is one of the communities in which it's taken longer to remove. Those are 2 examples. There are other examples, and I've throughout the country whereby you think better judgment to be made. And in fact, I think we should take a policy that dams and drainage system, we should not even in any way loan, sell.
Minister Prasad further pointed out that a few areas that are more susceptible to flooding are still being drained, noting, however, that efforts are being made to remedy the situation. The Agri-Minister also disclosed that the East Demerara Water Conservancy is at a safe level and the dams are very secured while work is ongoing at the Bursary Conservancy. Meanwhile, Chairman of the NDIA, Walter Willis, is of the opinion that the drainage system needs to be expanded more because of the climate change. It was also disclosed that there were no major reports of flooding in the regions, but the minor issues that were reported are being corrected. In the meantime, CEO of the NDIA is calling for a more proactive approach at the levels of the NDC and RDC as he reflected on some interventions that have been made.
We have done some work on Victoria Inlet and the outlet of that sluice. It's now functioning again. We're currently working on the Golden Grove sluice. We also installed an additional pump at Belfield. Yesterday we completed the rebuilding of the embankments at Dazzle scheme there. We have done some work at LBI, but that's part of the heavily affected areas. Also, we are looking at, as I speak today, to do some work looking in more the main canal going to the pumping station there.
The ministry is, however, still procuring equipment to alleviate the situation with 2 drag lines and 2 pumps being made available. Meanwhile, Chief Hydromet Officer Balika Soulal has informed the media that several locations, including Regions 3 and 4, has had 15 consecutive days of rain with a recorded rainfall amount of 100 millimeters or more within 24 hours. And she also gave an overview of the weather pattern for a few days ahead.
The outlook again for the month of December, it is quite active. There are going to be periods of heavy and intense downpours. The outlook for the next 3 to 4 days, intermittent rain, particularly between the hours 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock, midnight and 6 o'clock in the morning. There are going to be periods of heavy downpour. So we still have to be vigilant, we still have to be careful, we still have to be alert.
Ernestine Jagnarine reporting for the NCN 6 o'clock news.